いや、あやさんが亡くなったのは火事の。おか
みさん、その家ってあの噂のと。
There aren't many entries into the visual novel genre on console in general, and much less so on PS4. Seeing as how the PS4 has only been on the market for a few years and has barely picked up steam in Japan, the slow trickle of visual novels isn't exactly surprising, but it is a bit discouraging after seeing the attention that the PS3 was getting towards the tail end of its life cycle. Hatoful Boyfriend and the Western-made One-Way Trip, which I reviewed fairly recently, sit among the short list of visual novels for console gamers to peruse. And, aside from the anime-inspired Psycho-Pass Mandatory Happiness, there isn't exactly a big hitter for fans of the genre to jump into. Enter Root Letter. Root Letter isn't exactly a traditional visual novel, however, it lives in the space between puzzle games and visual novels. You could liken it to something like the Danganronpa series. Root Letter is the story of Takayuki, a man in his early 30s who goes on a journey to find his pen pal Aya from 15 years ago after finding a disturbing, unmarked letter in which she revealed that she had killed someone. Curious Takayuki takes this into his own hands and sets off to find the truth, the root of this letter. The story, while starting fairly slow, becomes extremely engaging and despite its plot holes, was able to fully capture my attention through the entirety of its relatively short playtime. All in all, my first route took me close to 9 hours to finish. While the ending felt pretty forced, it was clear that I didn't get the right ending, especially considering the game literally tells you that you don't know the whole story. Thankfully, the game is divided into chapters which you can skip through, having unlocked at least one ending. I went through the game a second time, which took me all of 30 minutes, and got the good ending, which surprisingly enough, felt less interesting than my first ending. I stopped there. The game is obviously inspired by Danganronpa, seeing as how its investigation sequences are almost beat-for-beat recreations of what trials feel like. But, unlike Danganronpa, Root Letter isn't as interesting. While the story as a whole is near great, the endings lack the same grandeur or scale that Danganronpa captures time and time again. The obvious reason for this is the multiple endings. It feels as though less time was given to each ending, resulting in a less polished, yet more diverse array of conclusions than what could have existed had the scope been limited. Therein lies Root Letter's main flaw. It tries too hard to do too much, leading to a depressing lack of polish where it should have focused its limited resources. And that's really all there is to talk about when it comes to Root Letter. There are a few small typos and mistranslations here and there, leaving the user with a sense that Root Letter is a lower quality game than what it truly is. The music is the same royalty-free, elevator quality music that you'd find in any visual novel, and the visuals are fairly beautiful, but frankly it's hard to find a visual novel that is lacking in that department. The trophy support is great, there's a platinum that is rewarded once you unlock everything, including every ending and all of the minigames, but aside from that, there isn't exactly anything special to Root Letter. Overall, Root Letter is a great entry into the visual novel genre that could have used more time, more resources, or a smaller scope. The story is definitely worth experiencing even though the endings feel lacking and abrupt, but Root Letter won't change your mind about visual novels. If you're not a fan of reading for hours, or don't enjoy the style of investigations found in visual novels like Danganronpa, Root Letter will be a miss for you. Everyone else should at least give it a shot.